Welcome to Albums Out of 100. This is a music album review channel where albums are given a standardised mark, unsurprisingly out of 100. We rate albums on the criteria of listening experience, lyrics, fluency and album cover. You're currently listening to a review of the UK version of Coast to Coast by Westlife. Let's get started then, and remember, what follows is simply my opinion. The artist is Westlife. Track list: 1. My Love. 2. What Makes a Man. 3. I Lay My Love on You. 4. I Have a Dream. 5. Against All Odds. 6. When You're Looking Like That. 7. Close. 8. Somebody Needs You. 9. Angel's Wings. 10. Soledad. 11. Puzzle of My Heart. 12. Dreams Come True. 13. No Place That Far. 14. Close Your Eyes. 15. You Make Me Feel. 16. Loneliness Knows Be My Name. 17. Fragile Heart. 18. Every Little Thing You Do. 19. Untitled. 20. Untitled. 21. Untitled. 22. Untitled. 23. Untitled. 24. Untitled. 25. Untitled. 26. Untitled. 27. Untitled. 28. Untitled. 29. Untitled. 30. Don't Get Me Wrong. The genre is pop. This was Westlife's second album. It was released in the year 2000. Album cover. This doesn't set a good first impression. Bland and uninteresting, this must be one of the most boring album covers I've ever seen. So boring in fact, that I really struggled to find a decent resolution file of it anywhere on the internet. And is it just me, or does the guy on the far right look a lot like Robbie Williams did in the 1990s? Coincidence? I think not. 0 out of 5. Track by track analysis. Track 1. My Love. The opening track, which is also essentially the title track, proves all the members of Westlife can hit all the correct notes vocally. But then again, that isn't really such an achievement. Name me one person signed to a major record label who can't. This is a track, though, that is somewhat memorable. Listening to it isn't unpleasant. The track's lyrics, however, are very sketchy. The phrase, my love, is bandied around throughout the song, seemingly at random, and often in positions that seem forced in the context of the rest of the song. The song is a post-breakup song, with the singer wishing he could return to times when he was still with his ex. He should probably find a more reliable way of reuniting the two of them as far as I'm concerned, like a plane or something. If he wants to get back with her so bad, you'd think he could afford a plane ticket at least. The worst part of the song, though, is the way it ends. It just cuts off randomly, like the manager just said, "Right, fuck it guys, we got 3 minutes, that'll do. Stop singing." Track 2. What Makes a Man. Lyrics throughout this song use the typical boy group lyrical device of making non-specific professions of female grandeur that will appeal to female fans. Notice I said fans, not aficionados. Fans are followers who like an artist in a very uncritical way, and are prepared to go to great lengths to prove their love for said artist, whilst aficionados follow an artist purely for their music. If you can make a suggestible woman think that Robbie Williams lookalike singer is singing about her when he says, "All I ever want is you," she will follow the band for life. This is a sales tool that obviously worked. Coast to Coast sold in huge volumes. Even better, What Makes a Man also manages to enforce the much outdated gender stereotype that men are somehow weak by crying. What more could record company executives want from a single track? Track 3. I Lay My Love on You. Instantly forgettable. Though this is only track 3 of the epic 30-track piece that is Coast to Coast, any creativity in the album seems to have run out already. Lines such as, "I lay my love on you, it's all I want to do," come across as incredibly cliched and unimaginative. Track 4. I Have a Dream. Here, Westlife do their best to cover an ABBA classic. My first, but far from last, gripe with it is that the opening percussion sounds out of tune. In fact, the percussion section sounds out of tune throughout the entire song. That's the result of the track being overmixed. The track you hear in the album is actually a remix of the original master. Making matters worse is the fact that Westlife don't do anything interesting with the song. If you cover a song, you typically try to make it yours by making it somehow different to the original version. Not here. Westlife just plough through the song without adding anything distinctly different from the ABBA original. Track 5, Against All Odds, featuring Mariah Carey. Against All Odds is an emotive power ballad that stands well above the feeble cliche-ridden songwriting present on the rest of the album. It builds emotion through its clever to-and-fro duet structure, like a good song should. Emotion, something lacking on the rest of this album. No surprise then that Against All Odds is in fact a cover of a Phil Collins song. It is a good cover though, and definitely has replay value. Track 6, When You're Looking Like That. When You're Looking Like That moves the album from ballads to a full-on rock-tinged dance track. A somewhat surprising move. I mean, you can actually hear guitars on this one. Unfortunately, the vocals, particularly the chorus, are flat, repetitive and unaffecting. Track 7, Close. Now, inexplicably, the album moves back to soft ballads. Close marks the first track on Coast to Coast that wasn't either a single or a cover song. The first song that's undeniably a filler, in other words. And look, even more pandering to susceptible middle-aged women. It's just so damned uninventive. Track 8, Somebody Needs You. Another dancey beat-driven track, Somebody Needs You includes such lyrical gems as But Now I Know Better, To Hurt You Was Wrong. No shit, Sherlock. Track 9, Angel's Wings. So, tell me Westlife, how exactly is love written on Angel's Wings? You mean somebody got a marker pen and did some graffiti? I mean, I've seen plenty of pictures with angels that don't have the word love tattooed into their wings. It just doesn't make sense. It's lazy imagery that translates badly if you give it any thought at all. Track 10, Soledad. Having a Spanish word as a song title doesn't make the song in any way classier or cleverer. Sorry. Let me translate the song title for those of you who can't guess. Solitude. That means it's bound to be an emotional rollercoaster ride, right? Wrong. I felt more emotion upon hearing that Mumford & Sons were breaking up than I did listening to Soledad, and that's saying something. The lyrics are just way too corny to stir up any real emotion. Track 11, Puzzle of My Heart. Piano notes, birds tweeting, a soft rising note into the first lyrics, which is of course where it all goes wrong. The lyrics sound like they've been written by a teenage kid in the midst of his first crush. They just fail to connect. Sickly Sweet would have been a good way to describe this track. It's just too much, yet nowhere near enough of substance. Track 12, Dreams Come True. Bad auto-tune refrains, check. Nope, nothing else to say here. Track 13, No Place That Far. Another cover? Seriously Westlife? 3 covers on one album? That shows a real weakness in album production. I will admit that by this point the album was utterly devoid of life, and seriously needed an injection of life from somewhere. That though could have been achieved by not making the album so damn top heavy. 6 of the 7 songs from this album that were either singles or covers, in other words the songs the label intended to generate interest in, came as the first 6 songs of the album. 6 out of 7. That means that this track is the only big track left to rescue the 24 later placed tracks from total obscurity, and stop the album looking totally futile. Why not split the songs you know are going to be the big hitters up? Spread them throughout the album. Oh, and as for the song itself, well done Westlife, you took a nice little country ballad and turned it into generic pop. As far as your producer's concerned, that's probably a job well done. Track 14, Close Your Eyes. Seriously, there's more filler on this album than there is in the McDonald's Angus burger. Whoever wrote this piece of filth obviously had his or her romantic hat on. Listen to this line. I can't believe how much I love you. Classic. Get it hung up above the Hollywood sign. Hang it from the Empire State Building. We need everyone to know about the sheer genius of this lyric. Seriously though, it's just such a shallow song. If these sentiments were fed to you by a real guy you were dating, you'd think him brain dead. Track 15, You Make Me Feel. Sounds like a different member of the group on lead vocals here. I'm beyond caring. It truly is hard slog to listen right through the album, even to track 9 or so, never mind to hear. Your brain just automatically switches off to save itself from the banality of the music it's hearing. Track 16, Loneliness Knows Me By Name. Finally, a song that doesn't instantly sound like a filler. There is actual storytelling here, and I finally feel something for the character created in the song. It's not too remarkable, but with nice imagery it achieves more than anything else on this album. Track 17, Fragile Heart. Just another dull, boring ballad here, nothing to see, move along. Track 18, Every Little Thing You Do. And still the inertia continues. Why is this album so long when every track sounds the same? It's just dreary ballad after dreary ballad in a never-ending cycle. Track 19, Untitled. Well, this is a nice change. It's certainly the best track so far, because it's 5 seconds long and consists completely of utter silence. I don't know what Westlife were thinking here. A silent 5-second track seems rather experimental to me. Track 20, Untitled. And again, just silence for 5 seconds. Strange. Track 21, Untitled. Is 5 a significant number to the album? Is there a reason why this track 2 is totally silent? Track 22, Untitled. Silent again. Track 23, Untitled. And again, for exactly 5 seconds. What on earth? Track 24, Untitled. Ah! They did it again! 5 seconds of complete silence! The suspense to know what they're up to is killing me. Track 25, Untitled. I sense there's a deeper meaning behind this. Track 26, Untitled. Still, 5 seconds of deathly silence. No more, no less. Track 27, Untitled. I get it! They're trying to say that words have limitations. They're proving that there is vocal expression beyond language, purely through silence. Track 28, Untitled. And now, as we have a track comprised entirely of only 4 seconds of silence, we see that the wicked world we have lived in is closing in, that we must pay for endorsing the sin of language. Track 29, Untitled. Repent ye, for the time is upon us. Westlife have founded the new world order. Silence shall fall. Language is obsolete. Unbelievers shall perish. Though this track is being 4 seconds long and silent, we know their wishes for the world. All shall hail the glorious final silent track. Track 30. Don't get me wrong. Oh. Or they're just stalling for a hidden track? Fuck. There I was thinking that they were doing something really artful and profound by using silence as an artistic tool, when in fact they were just spacing out the time between every little thing you do and don't get me wrong. I look a bit stupid now, don't I? You know what? Just forget I ever predicted any of that New World malarkey. Moving on. Promotional copies of Coast to Coast came to reviewers annotated to strongly suggest that this bonus track, Don't Get Me Wrong, should not be considered when reviewing the album. That just makes me want to review it even more. Yet sadly, there's nothing new or particularly bad here. Just more of the same that we've already had for 18 songs before this. Get me out of here. Standout tracks. Hell, let's call it tracks that don't figuratively make you weep for the state of pop music. Against all odds, Loneliness Knows Me by Name. Avoid all other 28 tracks at all costs. Totalling up the points. Overall, for listening experience, it's genuinely hard to listen to the album in one sitting. Firstly, it's way too long. A runtime of 71 minutes for a studio album is long by most standards, and especially inside the pop genre. This is the standard edition of the album, remember. Secondly, the album is, as previously mentioned, appallingly top-heavy, and it just can't keep a listener interested past the first 10 tracks. Additionally, the ballads that populate the album sound way too similar, to the extent that you feel like you've been listening to the same track 19 times over by the time the album ends. On the positive side, I did pick out 2 standout tracks that do have replay value. And finally, it isn't an album that hurts your ears as much. It might actually be a good remedy for insomnia with its soft harmonies. 16 out of 45. Overall for lyrics, they aren't good. By any standard. The word pop in reference to lyrics shouldn't necessarily be a badge of shame. There are some truly phenomenal pop lyrics out there. But here, the word pop can be used interchangeably with crap, and absolutely should be a badge of shame. In plainest terms, the lyrics accomplish nothing that hasn't been stated before, and explored a lot better than Westlife managed to do. The positive side? Well, there are words, and they are organised into lines. That counts for something. 3 out of 40. Overall for Fluency, the album is dominated by ballads, which does make it fit together to an extent. Lyrics and themes, however, are nowhere near coherent between tracks. The songs would make as much sense in a randomised order as they do in the prescribed one. This album is as far from having a central concept as is musically possible. 4 out of 10. Meaning, if my calculations are correct, that Coast to Coast has scored 23 marks out of 100, meaning it's rated as a poor album on our comparison scale. It's no wonder that you can find at least 3 copies of this album in each and every charity shop under the sun. Guess I'd better return my copy. Well, that's it for this review. Leave a comment below to let me know what rating you would give Coast to Coast. This channel also has an official Facebook page, so give that a like if you want to see some more album reviews. You can also check out our official website, where you will find links to all our videos, plus some exclusive content and the official scoreboard. The next review will be of Something by Someone. To be honest, your guess is as good as mine, and don't hold your breath. See you then!
Holy crap! Yeah!